रतना बिदीरा उपाय भूषा बधु जाना रतना बिदीरा उपाय भूषा बधु जाना राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोरा जीवने मरणे गति आरो नाही मोरा श्यामा गौरी अंगे निभा चंदने रगंधा चामरा ढुलावो कमे गिरिमुख चंद्रा चामरा ढुलावो कमे गिरिमुख चंद्रा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोर गांठिया माला तेरे माला देवो दोधार गाले गांठिया माला तेरे माला देवो दोधार गाले आधरे तुलिया दिवो कर्पूर तांबूले राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोर ललिता विशाखानी जत सखी वृंदा आज्ञा करी वो सेवा चरनारविंदा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासीरनु दासा सेवाभिलाषा करे नरोत्तम दासा सेवाभिलाषा करे नरोत्तम दासा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोरा जीवने मरणे गति आरो नाही मोरा जीवने मरणे गति आरो नाही मोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोरा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ 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 जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा 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 जय सुभद्रा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Has Mataji joined?
Whose turn is it, Mataji, today? Madhumati Mataji?
No. Purnima Mataji. Purna Nandit Mataji.
I don't see her, Mataji.
Yeah. We'll wait for Mataji. Till then, if anybody else or you would like.
Yeah.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah, anybody wants to do Hare Krishna Kirtan? I'll do.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much for that melodious kirtan. We welcome Purna Nandini Mataji. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Pranams Mataji. Hare. Mataji, you will share the screen or you want me to share?
You can share, right, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Sure. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcoming all devotees for the daily Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we'll just start with a quick prayer and little kirtan. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura, Hari Bol, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gurudev ki Jai, Nitya Gaur, Sikanath Paramanande, Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Dangayate Girim Yat Kripatam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Seeking the blessings of all the Vaishnavas who have assembled here, because we are on a 2-day marathon today. I think there was somehow yesterday's class didn't happen for whatever reason. So we are trying to cover yesterday's and today's shloka. So I will definitely need more mercy from the parampara and all of you, so that we are able to do some justice to the shlokas. We are going to see the shlokas from 9 to 17. Actually, it is till 18, but 18 will be covered on Monday. So we can start reading from the 9th shloka. Right? One person will read the shloka, and the other person can read the translation. Anasuya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Text 9.
Aja srujati bhutani bhutatma yada anugraha nadarshiyena tadrupam na vipadma samudbhavaha. Thank you, Mataji.
Vasudha Mataji, can you please read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Brahma, who was not born of a material source but of the lotus flower coming out of the navel abdomen of the Lord, is the creator of all those who are materially born. Of course, by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to see the form of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, those who have read, if they can lower their hands, then it will help us to identify the others too. Thank you. Yeah, so now we are in this chapter 8, Canto 2, questions by Parikshit Maharaj. Now we should try to, see the mood of Parikshit Maharaj, that he's asking these questions not at the beginning. I mean, like, he has heard quite a bit about the Lord and about the devotees, and then about Narada Muni, Vyasdev, and Bhagavatam, how it was being rolled out and other things. And still, and at this juncture, he's having questions, about everything. Because one thing is, like, But I've heard even Arjuna asked several questions to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Basically, we are not in Kali Yuga. We do not know what questions to raise. So very mercifully, the Lord has inspired devotees to ask the questions on our behalf, and then He's also mercifully given the answers through other devotees. That is one point. The other point is Parikshit Maharaj did not feel, I have heard so much, then what is there for me to know more, or why should I inquire? And of course, his questions were in a very submissive mode. So while listening, reading to Srimad Bhagavatam, we are going through the pastimes, we are going through various things about creation and other thing. The most important aspect that we have to take is the mood of the devotees, in what surrendered way they are asking and even answering. We see further in the next chapters, few chapters, where Sukadeva Goswami is answering Parikshit Maharaj's question. Definitely not in the order that he has asked, but all the questions are answered. How submissively even Sukadeva Goswami is answering the question. Then this question about Brahma, who's Aja. Now, the question raises, like for us in the mundane world, we know we need a woman and a man for somebody to be born. But then that is not so with the Lord. That's why Brahma is called Aja, because he's the first living creature, and also he was born out of the navel of the Lord. Heaven, there was no mother aspect, which brings us to the point that the Lord is absolute, is Paripurna, right? And just to give a quick gist of what exactly happened when after Brahma was born. Brahma was born and he heard the word tapa. So he meditated on this word tapa for I think 100 of celestial years, and then he was able to see the Lord. So there are 2-3 things that we have to understand. What is it that we have to do as soon as we are born, or we cannot do, or when we are in that position of a parent, what is it that we have to do? Where does the spiritual journey which starts? Definitely in the womb. If not in the womb, if we are if there's already we came into Krishna consciousness after the baby was born, then I'm bringing out the aspect that there should be no loss of time. So Brahma started, and then he meditated, and then after 100 years, what happened? The Lord appeared, and by the Lord's grace, if we read the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, with the Lord's grace, Brahma was able to see the Lord Krishna. So then he says, what is it that you have meditated for 100 years? What is it that you have understood? Now please listen to this carefully. Okay, we are talking of Brahma, who has 4 heads, and in each head 1 Vedas are coming out. He's the first creature who is born, and then Bhagavatam was spoken to him in the first, and just in 4 shlokas, right? We needed to expand 18,000 shlokas for us to understand. What does Brahma say when Krishna asks, what is it that you realized after meditating? He said, I realized that I don't know anything, right? So see, this is the difference between the spiritual knowledge and material knowledge. Material knowledge, if one mostly, I'm not generalizing, mostly if people are more educated, then they tend to be puffed up because they think they are very great, because they don't understand. Krishna says, I am the ability in man, like I am the intelligence in man. If you see Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, few shlokas where it says all this. So whereas Brahma says, what did I realize? That I don't know anything. So what is our position in that sense? So that is why, if we have to go in this journey of spiritual aspect, we have to be aware that no matter how much I know, then it is not even started. The journey has not even started, because only Krishna reveals himself only when we are humble. not when we are puffed up with knowledge. Because he says, Matta smritir gnanam apohanam cha. If you see Bhagavad Gita 15:15, he says, knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness is coming from me. So if anything I'm able to remember and narrate, I'm able to do. It's not limited to spiritual aspect. It is to any aspect of life. If we are able to succeed, it is only because of the grace of the Lord. So in more detail, of course, in further we will see about Brahma. So I thought I will just add this here about mood of Brahma and also the mood of Parikshit Maharaj. We can go to text 10. Deepa Mataji, very beautiful kirtan. Thank you for that, Mataji. Please.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavata. Sachapi yatra purusho vishvasthitya udbhavavyah muktvatma mayam mayesha shete sarva kuhashaya. Translation. Should I read, Mataji?
No,
Next.
Radhika Mataji will
Hare
read.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Mataji, next sloka I'll do. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Shilpa Mataji, please read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Please also explain the personality of Godhead who lies in every heart as the super soul and as the Lord of all energies, but is untouched by his external energy. Purport, Mataji?
Yeah, it's a small one, probably quickly you can read that.
Undoubtedly, the form of the Lord who was seen by Brahma must be transcendental. Otherwise, how could he simply look upon the creative energy without being touched? It is understood also that the same Purusha lies in the heart of every living entity. This also requires proper explanation. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so you see, we know, we have heard of the three Vishnus, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashayi, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Actually, they are expansions of Krishna. Krishna expands of Balram, Chatur, the four, expansions, and then again there is one more four expansions, and then Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Right? I'm just giving you a quick brief of at what level Krishna is. I mean, at the topmost level. And why this question, about the Lord as super soul? He's, around 8 inches probably in our heart. And then as a super soul, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, he is a super soul in the whole of universe, right? Now, at times it can probably feel, how is this possible? I mean, like, because either something can be big or something can be small. This is the inconceivable potency of the Lord, right? And time and again, I repeat Srila Prabhupada's words: don't try to understand Krishna with your 250 gray matter. That means our brain weighs 250 grams, right? And lesser for Mataji's. So don't try to understand Krishna with that. If we have to understand anything of this, we have to be in a submissive mode. We have to be in a mood of understanding if Krishna wants me to understand. And how does that come? By humility, right? So we can read the 11th shloka. Yeah, Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Purusha vayabir lokah sapala purva kalpitah loke ramushya vayavah sapale riti sushruma. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Sudha Mataji, please read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O learned Brahmana, it was formally explained that all the planets of the universe with their respective governors are situated in the different parts of the gigantic body of the Virata Purusha. I have also heard that the different planetary systems are supposed to be in the gigantic body of the Virata Purusha. but what is their actual position? Will you please explain that? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You see, the planets itself are kind of mystery. I mean, like, there are so many planets revolving around, on these things and that. And then here it is saying, it is a universe, different the planets of the universe, situated in different parts of gigantic body of the Virata Purusha, right? So it's something very intriguing, right? How is this possible? I mean, like, we are talking of somebody so huge that the planets are there in him. How is it? Is the question of Parikshit Maharaj. Now 12 and 13 we can read together, continuously, because there's only translation and a small purport in 12, and both is about time. So we'll take 4 devotees, no, 5 devotees, because there's a purport for 12. We'll start with Vandana Mataji. Yes, Vandana Mataji. Radhika Mataji, if you can please lower your hand so that I can see the others who have raised their hands. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Vandana Mataji, you please read the shloka of 12 and lower your hand. Yes. Vandana Mataji. Okay. Divya Mataji, please read 12 shloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Dandavat pranams. यावान् कल्पो विकल्पो वा यथा कालो अनुमीयते भूतभव्य भवच्चाप्ता आयुर्मानं च यत्सतः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम.
Rupali Mataji, translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, धन्यवाद प्रणाम. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Also, please explain the duration of time between creation and annihilation, and that of other subsidiary creation, as well as the nature of time, indicated by the sound of past, present, and future. Also, please explain the duration and measurement of life of the different living beings known as the demigods, the human being, etc., in different planets of the universe. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Prashanti Mataji, the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Kalayasyanugatirya.
No, Mataji, purport of 12.
Okay, sorry Mataji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Past, present and future are different features of time to indicate the duration of life for the universe and all its paraphernalia, including the different living beings in different planets. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Shobha Mataji, text 13.
Text 13. Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranam Mataji. Kalayasyanughatiryathu laksyate brihatyapi yayatya karma ghatayo yatrashir dvitya sattama. Hare Krishna, translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O purest of the Brahmanas, please also explain the cause of the different durations of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of time, following the course of action. Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji, Hare
Krishna. Thank you, Matajis, for reading the shlokas and the translation and purport. So, time. Now, Krishna says, Kalos Meham. Of course, he is time. So, what about time? If you take the life of Brahma, the Ayu of Brahma, 311 trillion 40 billion years. Okay, and then you take the lifespan of an ant. Now, that is so varied, right? And then this is the time durations that we are trying to deal with. So, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, you please explain how. And then, in the further chapters, there is, Bhagavatam gives such detailed, beautiful explanation of time, different measures of time. There's something, we have heard this shloka, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarvasite Hoy. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kahe, Lava Matra. Lava is a measure of time, which is, I think it is 1/20th or 1/20 or 16th of a second. So all this is explained in Bhagavatam, which of course is the science has explained, but the base is from Bhagavatam. So all these different durations of time Please explain to me. Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadev Goswami. So we'll go to text 14. I see only Vandana Mataji who has raised the hand. There are almost 31 devotees. Devotees, please take this opportunity to read Srimad Bhagavatam, because even reading one word, one text, is very purifying for us. It's like, how all this works. Quickly, before going to text 14, I will share a small story. Like, one grandson and grandfather are there. The grandfather asked the grandson, read Bhagavad Gita every day. So he very obediently for years, maybe 2-3 years, he reads it, and then he says, I don't see any use of this. I'm going on reading it. I don't want to read it. Then so the grandfather says, fine. Then there is a we call tokri, which has a lot of holes where coal was kept. So the tokri was basket, was dirty. So the grandfather says, look, take this and bring water, fill it with water and bring it here. Now, first of all, the boy is intrigued. He says, you must be joking, Tata. How can I bring water? This has so many holes. He says, please do it for 1 month without asking any question. Don't read any Bhagavad Gita. He says, okay, fine. Because my grandfather is saying it, I shall do it. And then he takes it and then he does this. Of course, by the time he comes, there is no water. And of course, because it was filled with coal, it is black. So he does this for a month. And then, at the end of a month, he comes to his grandfather and he says, look, what is the use? You have told me to do this. I have been doing, it's been a waste of time for 1 month. Every day I'm trying to bring water. Then the grandfather says, look at the basket. He says he's amazed. The basket is clean, it's shining, right? So this is what reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam does. Subtly, we don't. Yeah. We don't understand how it works, right? No, but it definitely works. It has its ways of working. So I'm humbly requesting all devotees who have not read to take chance and read when there is an opportunity. Yeah. Vandana Mataji. Yeah, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Danvat Pranam. Hare Krishna everyone. Shloka number text 14 by Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Yasmin karma samavayo yata yeno pagrahyate gunanam guninam cheva parinamam abhipasatam satat abhipashatam. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. One observation, Mataji. Shloka is there. Okay. Only when we are reading the translation perfectly, say by Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Okay, yeah, okay, Mataji, got it. So shall I read this translation also, Mataji?
I think we'll give others a chance.
Fine, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Sharmila Mataji, please read translation.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then again, kindly describe how the proportionate accumulation of the reactions resulting from the different modes of material nature act upon the desiring living being, promoting or degrading him among the different species of life, beginning from the demigods down to the most insignificant creatures. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. A very interesting topic. I would like to dwell on this a little and then share a few things that I have heard. Okay. And then, so that why this topic we need to dwell on, hear it time and again is because, each of us come with different baggages. And for each of us, each time we keep hearing, somebody gets realized. I mean, so it is good to hear it again. So we heard it's talking about karma, like what is karma, how the reactions work. And so first of all, there are 3 types of karma: karma, vikarma, and akarma. Karma is our regular activities as per prescribed scriptures, as per the rules, like say waking up, bathing, doing puja, then working, etc. Vikarma. Vikarma is against the scriptural rules. Broadly, Srila Prabhupada has put it very, not broadly, very concisely in the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling. And what's the 4th one? No gambling.
Illicit sex.
Intoxication.
No intoxication.
No
intoxication. And if anybody does this, then they not following dharma, because dharma stands on 4 legs: truth. And if one is gambling, truth is not followed. If one is intoxicated, they cannot do any austerity. Then one is has illicit sex, then cleanliness is the other. And then the 4th one is intoxication, gambling,
Meat eating, compassion.
meat eating. When meat eating, daya goes. So dharma stands on 4 legs: daya, saucha, then tapas, and satya. So when you're gambling, then there is no truth. So these are vikarmas, right? Now, what is a karma? A karma, right? Now, karma is, now let's understand karma, then a karma. Karma, I do something, what you do, so you reap, they say, right? If I put a mango seed, I will get a mango. If I put a neem seed, I will get neem, I will not get a mango. Akarma is, now whether I do karma or vikarma, I will have to take the reactions of that. Like even if I'm doing a lot of sattva-guna activities, say charitable and these things, I will not get away from the cycle of birth and death. I will come back, but I'll have a very good, either I'll be very rich or I'll be very intelligent, very famous, because I had done a lot of pious deeds, lot of punya karmas in the previous life. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, when he first went to England, he was telling the devotees when he saw Queen Elizabeth, imagine the amount of pious activities she has done, that she is the Queen of England, you know. So, but then it doesn't take us away from the cycle of birth and death. We should be aware of this. Then akarma. See, when I'm doing karma and vikarma, the reaction, I am doing it for my sake. So I have to bear the reactions. Akarma is something I do so that I don't get reactions, because there is no question of not doing karma. Karma means activity, right? Karmanya vadikaraste, the famous 2.47 shloka of Bhagavad Gita, says there is, you must do your duty. Only thing is, you don't have the right to about the results of it. So there is no way that we cannot do our when we can escape from our duty, because Krishna himself says you have to do your prescribed duties. So we have to do our prescribed duties, but then how should we do it so that we don't get the reactions of it? As long as that I'm doing it for myself, it can be me or my children. Aham mameti, Bhagavatam says, for me or my extended self, if I have to do, then I have to suffer the reactions, good or bad. If I do it for Krishna and not myself, that is a karma. How to do this? If I take an example, how can I do this? For eating instance, right? Why do devotees talk so much about prasadam, prasadam, prasadam? Because if you see 3.13, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if you're not offering and eating, you're verily eating only sin. Anything, any food eaten without offered, if it is not prasadam, then I am eating verily sin. One example I gave, right? So akarma, so that's an akarma activity. Karma activity is I cook and I eat directly. Akarma is I cook, I offer, and I honor prasadam. We say, don't say eat prasadam, we say honor prasadam. So this is one quick overview of karma. Now there are 2 other things that we have to understand about karma. I think I should have mentioned this. Devotees can kindly, if you have a pen and note, there are these shloka numbers. It will be a good homework for the weekend. Read at least the shloka and translation in the shloka numbers, if I have mentioned. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4:17, Krishna says, Karmana, Gahano Karmana Gatihi. It says about karma. Nobody can understand other than myself. Myself means Krishna. I'm quoting Krishna. Right? So some basic understanding only we can have. That is one thing. The next aspect which I want to touch upon is, which is, very important for our spiritual life to progress. Now, when things are going good, we normally don't get to this aspect. But when things are bad, right, or if we are at the receiving end from anybody, we try to blame that person, right? I'll quote Srila Prabhupada with an example, and we can understand this. There, in one temple, when Srila Prabhupada was there, one devotee came. This was few years after the movement started. Devotee comes to Srila Prabhupada in the temple, and then that devotee tells that other devotee, is troubling me too much. I cannot work with him. He is coming and telling Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada listens to him for quite some time, and then he looks up, and that devotee who was complaining thought that he will call that other devotee, chastise him and all that. Srila Prabhupada just looks up and he tells him, don't blame the instrument of your karma. Right? I'll give an example to understand this. Now, if we are caught, for breaking some rule in the traffic, right? The policeman stops, and then, it may be a small one. Then, it says, you have done this, give 50 rupees. Then we start trying to explain. See, I had to do this. Then he says 100 rupees. Then you said 50, now 100. Then he says 150. You go on explaining more, then, he keeps on increasing. I mean, so if we are upset, if we are angry, if we are avengeful with the person who is the instrument, at the postman who is bringing the reaction of our karma, we are only complicating it. We are adding to our karma. Just accepting what it is, right? We don't have to, react to what is happening. That person is only bringing back what I have done. How can I get angry with that person? First of all, I should get angry with myself for behaving like that, where maybe this life, previous life, whatever life. And the other thing, I should be thankful that he or she is helping me to finish off my karma. And I should come to the consciousness or awareness, all this happened because I forgot Krishna. So now what I should do, I accept this, then I beg the Guru Parampara, up to Krishna, please help me, because I forgot you, all this is happening. Let me not forget all this from now on. Let me do my sadhana well. Let me do my Bhagavatam reading more, Bhagavad Gita reading more, right? Because there are, prarabdha and aprarabdha karma. What is prarabdha karma? That which we are already experiencing, good or bad. The seed has fructified. Sins are compared to seeds, right? The seed of good actions fructify. I'm enjoying, good this thing. The seed of bad fructify, then there can be loss of money, loss of health, loss of whatever, all the negative things. That is called prarabdha karma. Aprarabdha, there are tons, still tons and tons of it stored as seed form. So Vishwanath Chakrabarti Pad, in a line, if you read his Bhagavad Gita, he says, Gnana, that means reading Swadhyaya, Gnana, can remove aprarabdha karma. That means which are yet to fructify, that can remove. Of course, with chanting also, with this chanting and devotional service. But bhakti means devotional service, can remove the prarabdha karma also. That means which is almost about to fructify, even that can be removed. So, and what does chanting do? Now I said the reactions are as seeds, right? Now if I fry a seed and sow it, it does not it does not grow. So what does chanting actually do? Chanting fries the seeds of our karma. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Right? So this is one small thing I wanted to give about karma, so that we take our sadhanas more seriously, and if we are with the gnana, because most of us are like, if we simply say chant, if we simply say read, we may take it little seriously. But if we know the background behind it, of course it was a very, very brief thing, because Krishna himself has said, nobody can know. Nobody, not even the demigods, not even, other than him, nobody can know about karma. It's only he who knows. If we know this, then we will take our chanting, our reading, and our devotional service more seriously. Which will accelerate our spiritual progress. Okay, so these were a small, quick brief about the karma part, and then it also talks about living beings going to various planets. If you say Yanti Deva Vrita Deva 9.25, Krishna says, whoever worships the demigods, they go to their planet. People who worship ghosts go to that planet, and other things. So please, in detail, tell me about all this. And if we see in the end, Srila Prabhupada in the purport says, this unmixed devotional service is transcendental and is called Parabhakti. It alone can promote a person to the transcendental kingdom of Lord. Okay, of God. Such a transcendental kingdom is not a myth, but is as factual as the moon. One must have transcendental qualities to understand the kingdom of God and himself. Okay, so we'll go to text 15. Padma Mataji, please read text 15, and Gayatri Mataji can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Not for the
actions and reactions of all groups. Sorry, Mataji.
You have to read the text 15. Shloka 15, I meant. Right?
I'll read the translation, Mataji.
Okay, fine. Gayatri Mataji, please, can you read the... Yeah, it's okay. Gayatri Mataji, you want to read the shloka?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bhupatalaka Vyoma Graha Nakshatra Bhuvrutam Sarit Samudra Dvipanam Sambhavas Chaitad Okasam. Hare Krishna.
Padma Mataji, translation.
O best of Brahmanas, please also describe how the creation of the globes throughout the universe, the four directions of the heavens, the sky, the planets, the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, and the islands, as well as their different kinds of inhabitants take place.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Should I read the purport?
No, Mataji. No,
okay, Mataji.
Creation, about various creations. Even we wonder, right? If there is a clear sky in the night, we see so many stars, and sometimes you can see the Sapta Mandala, or even if we go to various scenic places, and you're really wonderstruck with all this beauty. So and Parikshit Maharaj is asking much beyond all that also, which we cannot see always, about the universe and this thing, and inhabitants of all these places. If we again see Bhagavad Gita about the Atma in the second chapter, Krishna says, Sarvagataha. He calls Atma Sarvagataha. Srila Prabhupada very beautifully in the purport, explains that Sarvagataha. That means the soul is, it's everywhere, right? The super soul and soul is everywhere. Now, why does this become important, right? It becomes important because even in the sun planet, there are beings, there are living beings. That is why Surya Devata is there, right? But he has a body which is, all the beings in the planet of the sun have body which is suitable for that environment. And that is how when Srila Prabhupada, when he was there, when he spoke about somebody has reached the moon, and then he said, does he see people there, inhabitants there? And then they said, no, they just found some rock and other things. So Prabhupada flatly refuses, refutes the idea that they have landed on moon. And he is basing on the Shastra, because if there is a planet, then there must be living beings, which is what the shloka and even in Bhagavad Gita, which says. So please explain all this about to me, is what Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadev Goswami. Evidence and takes place. Yeah. So that was about 15. So can we go to text 16? Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Shall I read?
Please, my Prabhu.
Pramanam anda koshasya bhakhyabhyantara bhedatah mahatam chanu charitam varnashrama vinishchayaha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Translation Divya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Also, please describe the inner and outer space of the universe by specific divisions, as well as the character and activities of the great souls, and also the characteristics of the different classifications of the castes and orders of the social life. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna. So, see, there is nothing that the Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't cover, right? The outer space of universe, the specific division, as well as character and activities of the great souls. Varna and Ashrama. Srila Prabhupada time and again talks of Varna and Ashrama. And it is not specific to any region. I mean, like India, you find all types of Varna. I mean, the 4 Varnas, different Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. In fact, it was Srila Prabhupada who made it so clear that what does it mean as a Brahmana? An intelligent class. Kshatriya is, the soldier is a Kshatriya. It's not that he has to be in the royal family or something like that. Because we, at least for me, the understanding before coming to KC, Krishna consciousness, really the mercy of Srila Prabhupada who makes it all very clear. What are the 4 Varnas and Ashramas? So the questions about that, Parikshit Maharaj is asking. And all about the inner and outer space of the universe. Now, all these probably, most of it, we do read if somebody is specializing in biochemistry, biology, or somebody is very literary, then they study language as a major and other things. Now, what is the difference between knowing that from Srimad Bhagavatam and from the mundane? The mundane things, what happens is, the knowledge is not complete because all those studies are independent of Lord Krishna. Okay, but if everything is connected with Krishna, whatever education is connected with Krishna, it becomes so much more wholesome and also so much more meaningful. Otherwise, it is very difficult to understand because of our limited capacity and limited intelligence. So that's how, Srila Prabhupada said, just read these 4 books. What 4 books? Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is enough. If you read these 4 books, that is enough to know whatever has to be known when a person was born as a human being. So Parikshit Maharaj has the questions on these. So we'll go for the last shloka of the day today. That is text 17. I don't see anybody who has raised the hands. Anybody wants to?
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Prasubarao Prabhu, please. The shloka 17.
Shall I read shloka, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna. Yogani yugamanam cha.
Yugani yugamanam cha.
Yugani yugamanam cha. Dharmo yascha yuge yuge avataranujaritam yad ascharyatamah Hare.
Thank you.
Translation?
Translation, Divya Mataji will do.
Okay, Hare.
Just to give everybody
Thank
a
you,
chance.
Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, I all.
Divya Desai, yeah. Anybody who is not
Shall I, Mataji?
Prashanti Mataji also had a chance. Okay. Since I called out Ramakrishna Prabhu, somebody came online. Please read the translation of text 17. Who is
Hare
he
Krishna.
is not
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please explain all the different ages in the duration of the creation, and
Mataji,
also
scroll up, please.
the duration of such ages. Also tell me about the different activities of the different incarnations of the.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, kindly explain all about the elementary principles of creation, the number of such elementary principles, their causes and their development, and also the process of devotional service and the method of mystic powers.
Why we went? This is translation of 19. We were reading translation of 17. Okay, it got scrolled too much. Yeah. Okay, I will ask you to reread the translation.
Sure.
So, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Please explain all the different ages in the duration of the creation and also the duration of such ages. Also tell me about the different activities of the different incarnations of the Lord in different ages. Perfect.
No, thanks, Prabhu. Just a quick reminder that when we are reading the translation purport, we say purport and translation by Srila Prabhupada, because once we know more about Srila Prabhupada, then we will understand why we have to thank him each time we read the translation purport. Maybe next time when we read Ramakrishna Prabhu, you can keep this in mind.
Sure, Mataji.
Thank you. Yeah. So if we read the purport, actually, Prabhupada, talks about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Prabhupada gave these kind of words. At least for me, it was the first time. Conditioned souls, sense gratification, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna. Why is Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Why not Vishnu? Why not Narasimha? Why not Varaha? Right? If we read Bhagavatam, Canto 1, 3:28, Chapter 3, 28 Shloka. Homework for all of you, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, which says 1:3:28. Why Krishna is supreme, even above all the expansions. And of course, in Bhagavad Gita, you have chapter 5.29, you have chapter 7.7, then 10.8. All these shlokas, talks about the supremacy of Krishna, right? See, I'm not saying the incarnations of the other incarnations are lesser of this thing, but I'm just trying to follow Srila Prabhupada, who is establishing the supremacy of Krishna. Everything else is an expansion of him, from him, all the other incarnations, right? So, and what is so special about? I mean, there are so many names, right? And among the names, Krishna, Hari, and Rama are the most purifying. Of course, even Narasimha, Govinda, Narayana, Gopala, Keshava, all that is also equally purifying, but most purifying, because Krishna means all attractive. Another meaning, of course, there are innumerable meanings. Another meaning for Krishna means Krish means birth and death. Na means one who takes away us from birth and death. Hari, or Hare. Hari means thief. Each time I say Hari, he's the greatest of thieves. Hari. Why? Because each time I say Hari, he's taking away so many of my sins. So he's a thief. So we want more such thieves, right? Not the thieves that we see around. That is why if you see in ISKCON, or if you go to the temples, nobody addresses anybody by good morning, good evening, thank you. Even if we have to, if somebody did something that they don't have to do, they're very happy. They say Hari Bol, then somebody we have to chastise. Haribol, why did you do that? Even there, so beautifully Prabhupada has done this, because each time, like Ajamila, went on saying Narayana, 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 sit here, Narayana, come there, Narayana, go there. Just by that, the sins that he accumulated from the age of 25 to 80 was washed out in one name of Narayana. So, so Krishna's name is Krishna, or his other incarnation names are so powerful. And Rama, of course, who is the supreme enjoyment, when you say all the sins that you have accumulated go out of the mouth, and Ma, you close the mouth, and then those sins don't come. This is about chanting the names. But then devotional service also removes the proclivity to sin. What do I mean by proclivity to sin? Because it's like it comes in Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami, even though we know, and then people do atone, or they are regretful for what they did, sinful activities, but still it's like elephant taking bath. It takes a bath and it comes out, takes mud and pours it over. So they still keep sinning again. Why? Devotional service removes, because it is so strong. We read about senses and other things in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2 and 3 and all that, in 6th chapter about the mind, how forceful the mind is and all that. And because of greed, Krishna explains. So that goes out eventually that is called proclivity to sin. See, at this moment, somebody tells me, I listened to the class, I should not do this. Today it's fine. But tomorrow, if there is no class, there is no association, then we tend to go back. I'm not saying you all, I'm saying all of us. It is the general tendency. So doing devotional service removes this proclivity. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking about the various incarnations, and why, who is the supreme most, why is the supreme most, and why we should not accept anybody and anyone as incarnations, which is like popping up like vegetable market. In the present scenario, every other person calls himself an incarnation of God. What are the symptoms? Where should we look for who's a incarnation and things? So these are some wonderful questions by Parikshit Maharaj, and the answers are going to be even more wonderful. And in fact, Sukadeva Goswami is so happy, because Parikshit Maharaj, when he comes and asks, what is it that a dying man should do? Says Sukadeva Goswami had not even revealed himself. If we have remember the last chapter of Bhagavatam in the first canto, and then he glorifies Parikshit Maharaj for these questions, because as such, all of us question, when will I get my money? When will I get my degree? Or when will I get my job? Our tendency is to stop at this aspect of material thing. So somebody is coming and asking of the supreme solution, the actual solution of human mankind, which is beneficial not just for the person who asks, but beneficial for the entire world as such. So the questions will further continue. I'm going to stop here. I was to do text 18 also, because I started from shloka 9. Text 18 you all can read, and it will be covered on Monday along with other shlokas. I thank you all for your very patient hearing, and also thank the ICF, the whole team of ICF, for giving me this opportunity to spend some time with the Lord and his with Srimad Bhagavatam, in spite of being with so many being a conditioned soul, so many shortcomings. It is the mercy, really a mercy of my Guru Maharaj to give me this opportunity, and I hope if it has helped any of you to take away something, it is definitely only because of my Guru Maharaj. All the mistakes, chance for you all to pray for me to correct myself. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thanks for the beautiful session. Giving a clear, karma, vikarma with examples. That was really great. And if anybody would like to ask question, they can do so. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Can you please repeat the description about explanation about Hari? Because my screen was glitching a little bit at that point.
Is it possible to see you, Mataji? Because I've heard you so many times. Some names and voices are familiar. It would be nice if I could just see you once. Yeah, I will definitely explain, irrespective of that. Hari means Harayate, one who takes away. What does he take away? When I say Hari, he's taking away a lot of my sins.
What, Mataji? Takes away what?
Sins. He's a
Sins,
thief.
okay.
He steals all my sins. It's a thief. Harayate. Hari.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Vandana Mataji.
About Akarma, Mataji. Akarma. Very simple, Mataji. Karma and Vikarma we are doing it for us. So when I do it for myself, I have to bear the reaction. Right? Right, Suguna Mataji? Suguna Mayi Mataji. If I'm doing anything, if I'm doing for myself, I have to bear the reaction, good or bad. If when I say myself, I don't restrict to myself. You must understand it is aham mameti. It can be my father, my mother, my son, my father-in-law, brother, sister. It includes everyone. Okay? But when I do it for Krishna, I'm not doing it for myself, aham or mameti. I'm not doing it for the country, I'm not doing it for society, I'm not doing it for the this thing, whatever. I'm doing it for Krishna. And if I do it for Krishna, how do I satisfy all of them? Samsiddhi haritoshanam. We are watering the root, right? And for now, I'm trying to water each leaf and tree, each leaf and fruit and other things. I am not able to satisfy anybody, nor am I satisfied by anybody, right? So I water the root. You know that example of Durvas Muni and his disciples, and then that one grain where Krishna eats and all the 60,000 disciples are, I think you all know about that pastime. Samsiddhi haritoshanam. So you do it for Krishna, then it is his outlook, how the others are satisfied. Because I cannot even count how many people I owe, that runa. How many people, where will I search for them, and until I finish all that, then the cycle of birth and death goes on and on. So you do it for Krishna, then mame vamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Everybody is my part and parcel. So he is satisfied. Samsiddhi haritoshanam. That is our karma. Then I'm not doing it for myself, then I don't have to take any reactions of that. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. It's very clear.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is a typical question which many of them ask, right? Atonement, prayachita is something when we make mistake and they do that, right? Like for example, going to a church and Sunday, what do you call, what do you call that? They go,
confession.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mataji. A confession box. And thereafter, a friend of mine who believes in that religion told me that, Monday onwards, we tend to make mistakes, go back again on Sunday, and we pay some fine and all that. So where I'm coming from is, this is something which we know. Right, as a sin which we deliberately do, but the larger challenge we have, and the story behind karma, is mistakes which we don't know and which can hit. And you very beautifully brought out today, and thank you so much for that, that whatever comes to us which is very painful is a reaction of what we've done in the past, right? So somebody had asked me, can we do prayachita for that? Which is what we say, do chanting, which is what you were telling, right? Sins get burnt up. But does that also mean prayachita, in the sense, like, is that also prayachita? Is that also atonement?
Atonement. See, the very fact that we have come to chanting itself, what is the first atonement that I have to do? I heard this, when I heard this one, I'm going to repeat what I heard in the lecture. If I'm standing in front of a mirror and I'm beautifully dressed, okay, I may be or may not be beautiful, but I'm repeating. I should say Dikhara. I've got this body. Why have I got this material body? Because I left Krishna. So the first atonement with chanting is that I have come here away from Krishna. So your question was, what was your question?
No, my question was the known mistake which you do, you go back and do your confession and get back. I'm just not supporting it. I'm just explaining it to you.
I know.
So, yeah. So the previous Janma karma, and this was a question which was asked, and I was not very sure. So previous Janma karma, when you do chanting, will that get done? Yes, that is only the aprarabdha karma which goes off and prarabdha which goes off. But my doubt is that also called atonement? Is that chanting also?
Everything. That's what I'm saying. Chanting, the whole aspect of chanting is to say, Krishna, engage me in your service, right?
Okay. Yes.
So I've got another birth. I've got a body, material body, because I have been away from you. Of course, it is an atonement. Initially, we may not know it is an atonement. If we attend classes, through Bhakti Vriksha or Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita classes, we will realize the first mistake was ours. We wanted to enjoy away from Krishna.
Got it.
Right?
Sure, Mataji. And also I came to know that any other atonement, and I just wanted you to correct me from my hearing and understanding that, anything they do, like yagna or whatever they do, they pray to demigods for getting better thing of whatever karma they did in the past is temporary, right? It does not get resolved like in case of Krishna, but it just gets postponed. Is that right, Mataji?
Yes. See, yeah, correct. It gets postponed. See, it is a very dangerous thing. Asking for any benediction from demigods. Demigods are powerful administrators. They are appointed by Krishna and they are obliged to give what I ask. For example, in this life, I have not done the piety to have a house, own a house. But I do some puja and then I own a house. What am I doing? I'm putting a seed for another Janma to come back. And in that life, that I don't own a house.
Oh.
Yes.
So, okay, understood.
So that is why it says.
So technically, I don't own a house. I don't have enough karma for it, but I have to come back and make some good karma.
Because I have cried to the uncles, and the uncle is obliged. And then he says, it is not, see, it is like, I'm taking money when there is not enough balance in the
balance. Got it. So basically I can take from my father, which is Krishna, but I cannot take it from my uncle because that becomes a liability. This becomes my property, accepted. That way is my understanding, right, Mataji?
Yeah. Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. Whether you have desires, you don't have desires, you go to Krishna. If it is there in you, he will give it to you. If it is not there, he will not give. That is why it said, if you ask for something, you get it good. If you don't get it, very good.
Got it. Very clear, Mataji. So yagnas, when they do for Prayachit, many of them tell they do for Vishnu. Is that the one which you are talking about now? You ask for the god, if it comes, it's fine. If it doesn't come, it's also fine.
But then usually yagnas, they do all other, no? Mrityunjaya
I don't
Homa,
know.
all Ganesha Homa. There are so many other homas they do.
Okay.
So, but whatever it is, whatever it is because of a karma. Even if I get a fever, if I fell, if I have good money, everything is because of a karma. That's why it is not just Bhagavad Gita as it is. Accept life as it is.
Sure. Haribol Mataji, very, very well explained, and thank you so much for such a deep understanding and making me also understand that. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
1 second. It's okay, Mataji. Is it okay to take one?
Yes, Mataji. There are others also who have raised their hand.
Yeah, sure.
No problem.
Subarao Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In addition, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also Kleshagni.
Kleshagni, correct, exactly.
Everything will be
burnt out
into ashes.
Yes.
Within instant.
Yes.
So
but then, you see, one thing is, we are there are various type of gurus. Pratpadaksha Guru, we are all called. And like we are giving you an introduction to it. The actual import of it will happen when we have a initiating, when a Diksha Guru gives it, because it is coming from a pure devotee, and then it takes to its culmination to the actual purport of it when the Guru, when one is initiated by Guru.
Sorry, Mataji, for interrupting, but won't you all come under Siksha Guru? You said Radha Pradeshna Guru is somebody who shows, right? So Siksha.
Shiksha Guru also, but then that is, see, anybody below the Diksha Guru, okay,
Sure.
is whatever Guru you want to call them, okay. But then the actual import of the Mahamantra and then everything happening, it takes happens when Diksha is taken, because it is the Guru takes the onus of taking us back to Godhead. Guru, I don't know how many of you know Kannada. Guruvina Gulamanaguva Tanaka Dorayadanna Mukuti, it says. Purandara Dasa is one of the Acharya, one of the Dasas in Karnataka. Guruvina Gulama, I mean, you unless you become a servant of Aguva Tanaka, until you become, you don't get Mukuti, he says. Right? Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Mandana Mataji, you can quickly ask the question.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Wonderful session as usual and enlightening. Mataji, you have explained about this 4 regulative principles that when someone is meat-eating, there goes away, right? So what are the rest? I couldn't jot it down. So
maybe I was too fast or mixed up too many things. If I am gambling, truthful goes away. Satya. Illicit sex, that is relationship outside the marriage.
Cleanliness, Mataji, cleanliness.
I know, I'm coming to that. Saucha goes away. And then intoxication, we cannot do any austerity. Without intoxication only, we are intoxicated in Kali Yuga. Then if we are intoxicated, how to do austerity? We cannot do tapas. Daya, sauchas.
And one more doubt, Mataji. Akarma and Niskarma both are same, or is there a slight difference?
Nishkama karma, yes.
Both
Without expecting anything, yes.
Okay, Mataji. And one more request, Mataji. Could any one of you please share the shloka numbers for our homework? That
Okay,
also I couldn't jot it down.
I'll send it to, I don't have Susevika Mataji's number. I will arrange to send
Post it on the group, Mataji. Group or chat. I will read it. I'll go through it later.
Yeah.
The shlokas that you have mentioned, Bhagavad Gita 4, chapter 4, which shloka exactly?
I'll mention the shloka numbers. Yeah, I will see to it. It reaches in the group. Okay.
4.17 is what Mataji had mentioned.
Yes.
So that one shloka I have noted.
Yeah, 5.29 is the last shloka of 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Then 10.8. Mostly I've quoted from Bhagavad Gita only. 10.8. It is all giving the supremacy of Krishna. And then
Also 7.7.
7.7. And Bhagavatam is 1.3.28. Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. Prabhupada quotes this shloka a lot. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much for your wonderful class, Mataji. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Any more questions or do we end?
Mataji,
Can I ask?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay.
Okay. But I think Divya Mataji has raised her hand since long. We can ask her and then.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Mataji, with respect to the karma, you have said one is prarabdha karma, and what is the other one, Mataji?
See, if we understand karma as seed, right? One which is fructified, that means what do you mean by fructified? Which is giving fruits, whether good or bad. That is prarabdha karma, which we are already experiencing. Aprarabdha karma is, still it is there waiting to fructify.
Okay.
That is why, how to understand this. Now you see, it can be in our lives, or if we see everything is going very well, right? And suddenly you see everything collapses. Their finance, their health, everything suddenly collapses. So how do we understand this? That other prarabdha karma, which was in the seed, has started fructifying. Or if somebody is, completely down, and they win a lottery of $1 million, whatever.
Right.
So that is fructifying.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Aprarabdha. Mataji, one more question, adding to the point which Radhika Mataji has asked. Though we pray to the demigods, though people pray to the demigods, still the grant is given by Krishna only, right, Mataji?
Grant is given by Krishna. Okay, see, I shouldn't take these examples, but this is the best way we understand. I go to a school, my child writes an exam, but he doesn't qualify in that exam to enter that school. What do? I go to the management seat. I pay money.
Right.
So the demigods are doing that. You are paying money to the demigods. They are obliged. Demigods are most happy when you go to them and say, please give me bhakti in Krishna. We are not, and they'll be very, very happy.
Okay. Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much. Wonderful class, Mataji, as usual. So enlightening.
The topic is such.
Hare Krishna Mataji. One more, the last question for the day. Prashanti Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. You said that chanting is that clears the sins by of the aprarabdha karma, Mataji. So you were talking about devotional service also. I couldn't get that point. I couldn't hear that. Can you please repeat that point, Mataji?
Doing bhakti,
yes, Mataji, bhakti.
Doing bhakti, now say once, Prabhupada's finger, when he was cutting a vegetable, the finger got cut. And obviously, devotees were so attached to him. They got, Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada, Prabhupada is always Prabhupada. He's always teaching. He says, be happy. My head should have got cut off. Only I got a finger cut. So by chanting, if I had to, this should not be the motive for chanting. But if we are aware, then probably our intensity of chanting the whole aspect of chanting is to get Krishna Prema, love of God. These are all byproducts, right? So if in the chanting process, what happens? Krishna personally takes onus to protect. Why does he not protect otherwise? He protects. In whatever degree I am allowing him to protect. Classic example is Draupadi. Till the last moment, she said Krishna helps in one left hand or right hand. She's holding her sari, and then her whatever cloth is on her body, and then one hand she lifts up. He doesn't come. He doesn't come. Just because you're depending on your own ability. The moment she raises both her hands, Krishna, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksheshyam Masucha. Then there is unlimited. It's a process, for some immediately they can surrender everything and then, become Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada says, how much time it takes to become Krishna? He says, Prabhupada says in second, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, moment it takes. Because we are so attached, my bank balance will help me, my husband will help me, my father will help me. Trust me, scripture says, nobody helps. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Natvam Santi Lachati. Shanti mantra Prabhupada calls 5.2. Best friend. There can be no other friend. What is a friend? Who is a well-wisher other than Krishna? So if we can, how do we practically apply dependence on Krishna? How do we practically apply? Whatever situation comes, Prabhupada says, whatever situation comes, you accept it as mercy of Krishna. That is dependence on Krishna. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, Mataji. And one small question, Mataji. So when we are going for the beginners, Mataji, not devotees. So can we tell them that by doing chanting, their sins will be cleared, Mataji? Because they can't get the point of you have to find the love of get the love of Krishna. For that reason, we are chanting. So can we say that, Mataji?
Yes. My Guru Maharaj is always Jayapataka Swami Maharaj says, new devotees are like children. For children, you have to first give sweets.
Okay.
So you can tell them, and then when they are purified enough, right? Purified enough, then we can actually tell. I give you this is the last thing I'm going to say. I do a offline class. Some Matajis who are all 60 and above, for 8-9 years now. Then some of them took Diksha also. Okay, then after 3-4 years, then this Nirjala, Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi which came. Okay, I used to tell them, do Ekadashi, this Pandava Nirjala. I'm talking of all Matajis who are 65 and above. After 4-5 years, when they were familiar with me, I was familiar with them. I was familiar, but then I was waiting for them all to become comfortable with me. I told them, look, Mataji's tomorrow is Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. Some of them are diabetic, they have to take tablet, they cannot stay without eating even a day. I said, at the most, what is going to happen, Mataji's? You will leave your body on Ekadashi, it is okay. They, 90% of them did and are doing till date. They have all touched 70, 72 are doing Nirjala. I'm giving you this example to say, yes, you have to give the sweets first. And then when they are convinced, see, it all builds with relationship, right? It is not the knowledge that you give. It is the relationship that you build with them. If they know what is the relationship, they know you are a true well-wisher, that you are doing this selflessly, you just want good for them, then they will definitely listen to you. So build that relationship if you want your words to be taken.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful session. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thanks. That was very nice and very enlightening. The speciality of your class session is that everything is explained with examples, so everything gets clear. Thank you so much. And sorry for the glitch while sharing the screen. Actually, I was trying to mute everyone in that.
You muted me. Yeah, it's okay. Yes. The examples, otherwise, only then I can comprehend. So I say it so that Vancha Kalpatarubhusha Kripa Sindhubevicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai. Happy chanting, happy readings, devotees.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Krishna,
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji. Hare
Wonderful
Krishna.
class, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.